Hello and welcome once again to Beyond the Boundary. आप देख रहे हैं TUI Sports and we are back discussing this fifth test match. Again, a cracker of a day. And because of that cracker of a day, the game is really set up so well. And we'll be discussing that, how the day went, kya different points. They will be having a full panel of our experts from TUI. Let's welcome them, Nitin Nayak and Dopayan Datta. With me, Chetan Narula. We'll take a look at the summary of the scorecard, how the score stands in terms of, uh, uh, you know, the day, how it progressed. 145 runs ka lead hai abhi bhi India ke paas, and we're still on day two. The third innings is almost halfway done, and it could have been done more. Agar wo last over or second last over, I'm not sure. There was a catch that went down. I think it was a penultimate over. That's how things stand. इंडिया 185 ऑल आउट 141 for 6 और बीच में ऑस्ट्रेलिया 181 बना के निकल भी लिए. That was so much happening with that Australian innings. We'll have a chat about that as well. Rishabh Pant with some fireworks. Bill Webster, it's been a good debut test match for him as well. Prasidh Krishna has been a surprise package for India today, especially with Jasprit Bumrah not bowling after lunch. So we'll discuss all of that. Let's get the starting points from Dwapayan and Nitin. Dwapayan, how did you look at that day's play? How would you sum it up?
Roller coaster. Like there were, if I was watching it from an India perspective, like I didn't know whether I was happy or sad. Like almost through the day, like there were parts of the day when I was probably happy. Then there was bouts of disappointment. Then
Mm,
a little bit of shining light from Rishabh Pant. Then again a sense of doom and gloom. I don't know, like it's a strange day of cricket. And
mm,
yeah, it's beautifully poised. And
mm.
let's see, it's almost impossible to call a 180 to 200 run chase on this pitch
कैसा
with
जाएगा?
Bumrah, without Bumrah, variables, whether that variable of Bumrah bowling and not bowling. It's like it's a test match which is almost impossible to call at the moment.
Okay. We'll take a comment here as well. But Nitin, first you summarize how you saw the day's play.
Uh, Happy with the way the Indian backup bowlers bowled today. After a long time, I saw Siraj almost assuming the leader of the bowling attack role. I think
Mm-hmm.
once he knew that, I think it was communicated to the bowling group that Bumrah is not 100%. And I think Siraj, the lengths that he bowled, especially, I loved the fact that he pitched the ball fuller, and he
Yeah.
allowed the wicket. He did not look for, he generally has that tendency to look for magic balls and then go for runs. But I think he kept those temptations away and just bowled a lovely channel. Very impressed with how Prasidh bowled. I think his inclusion was a couple of test matches too late. I think he would have been a handful on the Adelaide pitch in the day-night game.
Yeah.
Plus, I also was I liked the way Virat also took charge once Bumrah left the field.
Mm.
There seemed to be a sudden energy, more willingness to use Nitish Kumar Reddy as a bowler, which I did not see much with Rohit Sharma earlier. So in those things, I mean, yeah, it was a positive. But Bumrah walking away, it just almost frightens you. I mean, I said a couple of days ago that he's one spell away from maybe a breakdown, and I just hope that the Prasidh Krishna, I'm just reading his quotes. He says that he went away for back spasms. I just hope that they are back
Oh,
spasms and no recurrence of the stress fracture that he had.
yeah.
But yeah, I would have preferred a couple of wickets less. I would have preferred Rishabh Pant still at the crease. But then, why should I complain after he's entertained us so much?
Yeah, okay. So many things to talk about. Let's start with, of course, the way the Australian innings went. Cracking start. I think I was up at 5 a.m. and thinking of you, Nitin. सुबह 5 बजे उठ के यूजली मैं अपने कलीग्स के बारे में सोचता नहीं हूँ इतना. But you said कि 3 विकेट मिलेगा. And the 3 wickets came, 2 wickets from Siraj, and then we had Bumrah taking a wicket as well. So the first session actually went India's way. Probably not the second hour because Steve Smith was there. That was a crucial wicket. But then they actually got Smith as well. मैच अच्छे से बन गया था, उतने में ही बन गया था. The big blow, I think, was of course that Bumrah did not bowl a lot after lunch. I think he bowled one over and then he just went off.
Yeah.
And then we saw him going for those checkups. On that note, when you say he sort of back spasm, that's what we're hoping, and I think that is what they went to check immediately because he's such an asset for the Indian team. कि आपको immediately एक बार उसका scan करना पड़ा कि there's not a major issue there. So maybe he rests up today, maybe he comes back. Although back spasm also can take some time to recover. So all of that, I think that session and a half in the morning, it was the emergence of Siraj and Prasidh Krishna. How impressed were you with Prasidh Krishna, Dwapayan, and do you also agree? I think Melbourne में तो सभी कह रहे थे कि खिलाओ खिलाओ खिलाओ, but I think even before in the series, uh, especially when the fact that Siraj was not performing, आपने पहले दो टेस्ट मैच में देख लिया था कि सिराज कुछ इतना खास नहीं कर पा रहे थे. There was always this question mark कि when is Prasidh Krishna coming back? The other side of it was there's always this question mark कि Prasidh Krishna has to make an impact whenever he plays next. And today he's played after a while, and I think he's made decent impact using the conditions that were available to him.
See, if we talk about the Prasidh Krishna spell, because it's a very short test, so like we have to be like very specific about the, like in that 1 hour, in the second hour of the morning session when he came on to bowl, the initial 5-6 overs he was not bowling well. He was bowling both sides of the wicket. He was bowling
Yeah.
slightly shorter, and if India does go on to lose this test match, it will be that second hour of the morning when Australia had already lost 4 wickets, but that partnership which was allowed to happen, and they played well also, and Prasidh Krishna did not bowl well at that point of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What he did well was that he understood or was being told by somebody that there was a problem, and he started pitching the ball up, and he got that nick of uh, Steve Smith, and he got him out. So and it was for what I saw about Prasidh Krishna is that Prasidh Krishna has the ability to bowl sudden magic deliveries. That quality he has. The wickets that he took showed
Hmm.
that. But I still think he has a bit of a problem with control. He bowls both sides of the wicket, which can't happen when, especially when the match is this low scoring. If he has to bowl 15 overs, 20 overs in the second innings, then he has to be tighter. He cannot give the
Yeah.
batsman that leeway.
Hmm. या अगर आप बात करो प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा के बारे में तो इन दैट सेंस इट केम एज somebody who's very raw. और नितिन लग रहा था उनकी बॉलिंग से, जैसे दोपहर ने कहा कि जो इनिशियल स्पेल थी perhaps that was not the best. It was looking that he's very raw. He hasn't been too sharp in the nets as well. He's just come and hit the deck running, in the sense obviously he hit the deck running. Steve Smith को उसने अच्छा सा bouncer दिया, but then Smith countered by pulling and hooking immediately with the short deliveries that he was bowling. But overall, from his bowling, what I'm trying to say is he wasn't looking that sharp. And like the Payan said, then he did make those corrections, and then he was bowling a lot fuller, which is where he was looking so impressive.
Yeah, I think Chetan, what just like batters, they require exposure to
Yeah.
different conditions to judge the length,
Mm.
what strokes to play at what length, what shots suit what different wickets. I think the same is the case with bowlers as well. I think the bowlers also need some time to judge what is the right length on
Yeah.
on which surface. I mean, everybody is not a Jasprit Bumrah who can who, because Jasprit Bumrah, I look at him as this great problem solver,
Yeah.
who has a quick solution for every situation, for every surface. So with to expect the same from the other players who do not have as much experience as Jasprit Bumrah is a little too much to ask for. So that's why I thought that he could have been played a little earlier in the series. Certainly now, what especially if tomorrow it's a tight chase, uh, he would not after he would not probably know what to do if with 5 wickets to go, uh, you know you have 80 runs to get and you also have to attack as well as defend. So this is where I think we have to give him that leeway and the space to develop and not be very judgmental about him. Maybe yes, we can be a little more critical of Siraj if he bowls a little poorly, but at the moment, I think Prasidh Krishna would benefit from this experience.
You know, the big problem here is, before I move on to Nitish Reddy and his spell, the problem here is कि अब second innings में we don't know if we have Bumrah or not, and the
Yeah,
Indian team management is never very communicative in terms of what has really happened. अगर ये दूसरा कोई management होता, हमें अभी तक पता चल चुका होता कि what is the issue, or is it a major issue or not, etc., etc. But again, you can only hope that Bumrah is available. My question here is कि now what happens, because now we are a pacer shot, we are a wicket taker shot. Sports fan ने कहा था कि uh, Bumrah is out of action for long. They fail to manage his workload. You know why I do not want to blame them? Because अगर series इस point पे खड़ी है where we are just 2-1
yeah,
down and have a decent chance of making it 2-2, it is because of Bumrah. अगर आप उसका
absolutely.
workload ही manage कर रहे होते जिस तरह से, ठीक है, he has been overbowled in a 5 test series. Yes, that is always going to happen where he's not getting a lot of support. But if Bumrah was not bowled this much, he would not have been able to deliver this performance, and the series would
Yeah,
have been 3-1, 3-0, 4-0 down. वो नहीं होता. So the workload management, I understand. He's a prime asset, I understand. But at the same time, you have to make use of the asset. And now the question stands: what happens in the second innings? Even if we have, say, 180 on the board, without Bumrah, that sting goes away. Dopayan.
Yes, of course the sting goes away because yeah, the spearhead is gone. But I'm just hope because the way he ran back after the scan, we saw him. I just have a feeling like if it is back spasm, he will probably if he may play through pain and at least bowl the first burst like with
Hmm.
the new ball the first
Like
five ten
Mitchell Stark.
overs with yeah. So because I think that is where the match is going to be set up. So if he can
he'll
get the
definitely
first
bowl to Khwaja. He'll definitely bowl to
definitely
Khwaja.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, like if he in the first 10 overs if he is able to play through pain and bowl, we will know because he will come out to bat. It's almost a given
Hmm.
he will come out to bat. So and the Bumrah factor, that fear factor of Bumrah, that Bumrah is there, that is going to play on the minds of the Australians
Hmm.
also. So I just hope it's obviously an injury. Obviously, he will not bowl the 20 overs that he needs to bowl through the
Hmm.
day. But I hope he is fit to bowl at least 5 to 7 overs with the new ball and set the game up from there.
Okay, Anirban says the reason he has been overbowled is selection, not playing a proper fourth bowler.
Yeah,
पहले ही आपके पास बैटर नहीं है, आप एक फोर्थ पेसर भी खिला लो तो फिर तो जो 180 बन रहा है वो भी नहीं बनेगा. So it's not like you can just line up four pacers. They do have two other pacers. Let's be honest. Until Melbourne's second innings, we did not have a second pacer or a third pacer who was rising up to the challenge. And that brings us to Nitish Reddy, who's not been properly used, probably used properly, if I can say, for the first time in the series. And Virat Kohli as a stand-in captain, that was good to watch. Probably the best of Virat Kohli has come in that passage of play in this series. Um, and Nitin, he has that kind of effect on players who really look up to
yeah,
him. Nitin Reddy is somebody who really looks up to Virat Kohli. तो अगर वो 120 पे करा रहा है and then Virat Kohli is the skipper and he's egging him on, वो 125 उसकी speed अपने आप हो जाएगी, right? So he has that
correct.
kind of effect, and he did have that effect. And Nitish Reddy produced those 2 wickets, and India was able to bowl Australia out. Of course, if Bumrah doesn't take the field, then are we looking at Virat Kohli as the stand-in skipper?
Yeah, and I think they will still be pretty competitive because this wicket is just offering obscene amount of seam movement and
Hmm.
bounce. Um, the delivery that Boland bowled to Jaiswal. I mean, I don't know how you play that. Uh, the delivery which he got him bowled with. Um, Coming in with the angle, pitching, seeming almost 1.5 degrees,
Yeah.
and hitting the off stump. I mean, there's no chance in hell that you'll get bat on that. And I have really not seen so many Australian batters also nicking behind. That shows that even for them, these are very alien condition. And as Dwaipen so
Yeah. Yeah.
beautifully put it
Yeah.
last night,
Yeah.
that they have prepared a lottery pitch. The same mistake that probably India made against New Zealand. No, not a great pitch because here it's not the amount of skill that is in question, but the amount of luck. So,
Okay. I just want
somewhere
to add.
down the
I just
line, I
want
would,
to get your opinion,
yeah,
yeah. Just want to add here and sports fan का एक और question है मैं add on कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे because I think nobody raised this point. What do you make of this pitch? Does it warrant demerit points? In my opinion, yes. If a match is ending in
yes,
two and a
yeah,
half, 3 days, it definitely warrants demerit points. Apart from Rishabh Pant and the way he bats, जो उनका unique way है, you cannot say okay maybe Bo Webster because again you also have to consider the fact that today and yesterday the difference was I think I was looking at Fox Cricket का एक stint where they were saying that yesterday there was 6 degrees of seam movement. Can you
yeah,
believe this? 6 degrees of seam movement yesterday. Today it's 1.1 to 1.5 degree of seam movement today. So that's an obscene amount of seam movement. जो आपका
yeah,
बैलेंस है बैट और बॉल का अगर हम कहते हैं कि इंदौर की पिच वाज बैड सिडनी पिच इज एज बैड दोपायन योर थॉट्स
Yes, yes. Like if we call if the pitches that we prepare in India sometimes as akhadas, then this
या
is a paddy field.
या
Like if
ट्रू ट्रू
you here it is not a test of skill. That is what uh, annoys me. Like a bowler, all he needs is to just run in and hit a spot, and then the pitch will take care of the rest. And the amount of seam movement, it is like uh, a spin bowler bowling on day 5 at a pace of 130, 135. So it is impossible. You are just banking on your luck to survive. So
या
yeah,
this pitch doesn't help anybody, and I really do not know why Australia went for this pitch, because SCG is
या या
normally, we have always seen for the last 30, 35 years, like it's a it always has been a good batting pitch which slowly deteriorates, goes into day 5, and there is a result more often than not. So from that, why Australia made this departure? Because they are not sure probably that they can get extract a result with their tiring pacers, and they wanted a result before going to
probably
Sri Lanka. I think that is the reason, but they took this Indian team a little too lightly. The mistake that they made in part there, they have done the mistake again, because you do not give these Indian pacers the conditions that is
yeah
conducive for them. They are deadly. They are deadly.
yeah
This Siraj, Prasidh,
yeah
even Nitish Reddy, they are making most of the conditions that are there. Had it been
yeah
a Melbourne pitch, it wouldn't have been this tight again.
yeah and you know what Nitin ये एक उनको कहते हैं ना कि दो धारी तलवार हो जाती है it's going to reverse back on them because like
yeah,
Dopayan said India when you make such pitches and I think we've had this conversation regarding the pitches that we made in the New Zealand series as well अगर आप अखाड़ा बना रहे हो तो आप मिचेल सैंटनर जैसे स्पिनर को एंड नो डिसरिस्पेक्ट टू मिचेल सैंटनर नो डिसरिस्पेक्ट टू जीतन पटेल आप उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी दे रहे हो एक मैच में 10-11 विकेट पिक करने का राइट
yeah,
Similarly, if Australia is making such pitches, you're giving an opportunity to Indian pacers. Indian batting तो वैसे ही नहीं चल रही है, ठीक है? वो
yeah,
flat wicket पे भी नहीं चलेगी, इस पे भी नहीं चलेगी. So, but you're giving the Indian bowlers much more chance. And now, if you put 180 on the board, and today there was a camera hovering over the pitch, and you could see not as much grass as yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely lush green, but beneath the grass today, you could see such big cracks. और एक और ठीक है the match is probably not going to last till the day 4 but imagine if this match went to day 4 the cracks would be unplayable. This would be an unplayable pitch. The security of the players would be, the safety of the players would be under question. We saw how Rishabh Pant, got so many blows. वो
Yeah.
क्रैक्स इतने बड़े हैं, उसको पेपर ओवर करने के लिए इतना ज्यादा ग्रास उन्होंने छोड़ दिया उसके ऊपर. I think this is a very bad pitch, or this is a poor pitch, and I think I'll be surprised if ICC doesn't rate this pitch poor. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it reminds me almost of the 2018 Johannesburg pitch.
Yeah,
Where I think Virat and Shastri both called that as the moment in the sand for them in terms
yeah,
of overseas performances.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
even
And they
even
played four
there,
fast bowlers there. They played four fast
and
bowlers there.
yeah, they played four fast bowlers, and obviously they had Shami, Bumrah, and Ishant.
Yeah,
So the quality obviously was much greater, but I feel that. What happens on wickets like these is the fans kind of get cheated with just like we
yeah.
complain in India that हमको विराट कोहली का 100 देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है या हमको अच्छी बैटिंग देखने नहीं मिल रही है. Same way, I think the Aussies also would have liked to see why the Melbourne Test will be talked about as a great Test match is because the conditions were kind of balanced. Yes, India did lose 7 for 34 in the end, but that was not because of the pitch. That was the pressure that was extracted by the Aussies. So
Hmm.
here, it's there was one delivery which Washington Sundar tried to defend in the end, and
Hmm.
it seemed like this much, and
Yeah.
and he just laughed and he said, what can I do? And I have to be in
Hmm.
pretty good form if I nick that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
these kind of wickets, I think they, as Vaipan beautifully put it, saying that it's a paddy field, and yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
the less of such surfaces, the better.
Okay. Well, the surface is same for both sides. Let's look at India's second innings.
True.
Then, obviously, they took a lead, a miraculous lead there. 4 run ka hi lead mila, but mila. Um, Second innings again. Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul. I mean, you can't fault the batters a lot. ये
Yeah,
थोड़ा सा अजीब लगेगा सेंटेंस आपको, क्योंकि एक तरफ आप बैटर्स को फॉल्ट नहीं कर सकते हो, बिकॉज द पिच इज सच कि कोई ना कोई बॉल पे तुम्हारा नाम जरूर लिखा होगा. सो you look at Yashasvi Jaiswal. I thought he could have attacked a little more. He was trying to stay at the wicket a lot more than he should have. Dwepan, correct me if I'm wrong. He should have just gone bang bang like Rishabh Pant, or maybe that's not his game at all.
It's not his game. Like, he was playing on the
Yeah,
merit of the ball, because in the first over he hit four boundaries of start, which
yeah,
showed that he was ready to pounce on any ball that is loose by his standards. What he feels is a loose ball. So he was ready. He was there. So, and
hmm.
22 runs
Okay.
on this pitch is 65 on another pitch. So
65. तो ऐसे
let's
तो ऋषभ पंत ने सेंचुरी बना दिया या 150
Rishabh
बना
Pant the
दिया.
century mara
Okay.
hai, so we
Yeah,
should
okay,
count
okay.
it
We'll
like
we'll
that.
come to that. Yeah, we'll come to that. Similarly, Shubman Gill again 13. Again, I was disappointed with the not not with his dismissal so much as the kind of shot that he played, where he's charging and he's playing with hard hands. Um, Dheeraj Madhu कह रहे हैं Scott Boland needs to be smashed. No other way to tackle him. I don't think you can smash a bowler like Scott Boland because the kind of line he bowls, और अगर उसको ऐसी खतरनाक पिच मिल जाएगी जैसे पंकज कह रहा था ना, माम्बा पिच है, अगर ऐसा पिच मिल जाएगा
yeah.
स्कॉट बोलन को आप स्मैश नहीं कर सकते हो. विराट कोहली, लॉट ऑफ कमेंट्स रिगार्डिंग हिम. आई सॉ stat. Let's take this. X से भी हमें comment आया है, so you can comment on X and Facebook as well. We'll take as many comments as possible. The greatest of all time, that is a little debatable, but greatest of in some formats in this era for sure. Now struggling to score runs for past 2 years. This graphic that we have, and kudos to our graphics team and producers for what putting this up. um you know अच्छे से इसको अपडेट करते हैं रोज. uh, this is going to be a memory of his last tour to Australia, and he's been superb in Australia. But this is not going to be good to look back on. Once he's old and he's matured and everything, and he'll look back at this Australian tour and he'll be like, okay, you know what, ये क्या हो गया. Your thoughts, Dwapayan? He's averaging, I don't know what, 19 now for the series. Take that 100 away, it's even bad. It's almost Rohit Sharma type bad. um, Look, I'll be honest. अगर एक टेस्ट सीरीज आ रहा होता ना अभी फरवरी मार्च में, जैसे हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया से आके लास्ट टू WTC साइकिल्स वी केम बैक फ्रॉम ऑस्ट्रेलिया, प्लेड अ होम सीरीज इमीडिएटली, राइट? अगर इस समय आ रहा होता एक टेस्ट सीरीज, चाहे होम पे आ रहा होता, विराट कोहली का स्पॉट नहीं बनता था। बट नाउ 2 मंथ्स लेटर इतना वाइट बॉल क्रिकेट हो जाएगा, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में हो जाएगा, आई डोंट नो ओडीआईज में हाउ ही विल बी एक्सप्लॉइटेड और नॉट। इतना फ्लैट विकेट्स होता है, इतना इजी नहीं होता है एक्सप्लॉइट करना। आईपीएल में ऑफ स्टंप पे अगेन इतना इजी नहीं होता है एक्सप्लॉइट करना। बट if he scores some runs in white ball cricket, then he goes to England, doesn't he? That's how it is, right?
Yeah, that's how it is. And about like today's innings, what was slightly like disappointing was that he was trying to make that adjustment of playing on the back foot. Like he was, and if you had seen his innings, he played one pull shot from his off stump, and it looked pretty good. Like he was making that adjustment. At times, he was not making that trigger movement to the front foot that has let him down in this series. But then after that shot, then again it just left him because it has gone so much into his muscle memory that he cannot get out of it. Like he himself knows he isn't doing the right thing because the way he reacted today after getting out, like yeah, it is not just as it was it not happening for Rohit Sharma, it is not happening for him also. It is a sad truth that it is not happening for him also. Like yeah, there are a lot of facets to Virat Kohli. He was leading the team, he was charging the team up, all those things are there. But I was just thinking, like if Dhruv Judel was there, he's a competent batter. We would have had probably got 25 runs more, which could have been very crucial. Like we need to think on the
Yeah.
yeah. I saw the Rohit Sharma interview. Rohit Sharma
We'll come to
said
that.
that
We'll come to that. Yeah.
no, I just say that he said that the those who sit in press boxes with their pens and laptops should not decide when we take a call on our careers. Yeah, we should not probably, but जो हो रहा है वो तो
No, look,
बोलना ही पड़ेगा.
वो हमें जज तो करना ही पड़ेगा. We'll
हाँ.
come to Rohit Sharma's thing. We're still talking about Virat Kohli, so let's go back to that. Daniel says, thanks Daniel for joining us. He says Kohli has been a star player. I'm an Australian cricket fan and full respect for Virat Kohli. That's the point. He's respected a lot in Australia. A lot of Aussies see him as a reflection of the Australian way of playing cricket, the way you play hard and the way you score runs and everything. I remember 2011 maybe and 2014 may it just became, everybody became so fond of him, the way he played his cricket and the way he took charge of the Indian team. But this is not going to be a great memory, not the best of ways to finish off. I doubt he will return to Australia to play Test cricket at least. I don't know if there's any ODIs. I think there are ODIs later this year,
Yeah.
or early next year, something like that. If he's still playing ODIs by then, maybe he'll return one last time to play ODI cricket. I don't know. But this is the end for Test cricket in terms of playing in Australia for sure. A sad end in terms of how a fantastic player he's been in Australia. Um, Again, Nitin, your thoughts. How do you how do you take a player to England who's been nicked off 8 times to the slips in 9 innings? How do you take that player to England? ठीक है, he may be Virat Kohli, लेकिन 1 मिनट के लिए आप नाम हटा दो. Remove the name for 1 minute. How do you take a player like that based on if he plays no red ball cricket from here, between here, and because the schedule is like that, right? The schedule is like that.
Yeah.
He'll be
Yeah.
busy with Champions Trophy. He'll be busy with white ball cricket. He'll be busy with IPL. Like we discussed, he'll probably have 3 weeks before the England tour starts. If India doesn't make the WTC final, if he doesn't play any red ball cricket till then, how do you take a player to England who's been nicked off to the slips 8 times in 9 innings?
You don't. You don't take him. This should be his last Test match. Period. Because the I at some point, I mean, even his worst critic or his
Hmm.
fiercest critic would be hoping that he gets out maybe an inside edge bolt or a run out down the bowler's end, because
Yeah,
now it's it almost seems pathological. No, this
yeah,
weakness is, it's almost as if his bat just goes there,
yeah. It's
and
just pure
irrespective
instinct.
of, yeah, just and it, he probably needs um, a spell in white ball cricket, probably.
Okay, okay.
If
Hmm.
if I may suggest, maybe without the slips behind, where he gets the release shot to run singles and twos, which are, I think, the lifeblood of his one day batting.
Yeah,
I think that a bit of that might just help him come out of this spell. But
yeah,
red ball cricket, I think, it should be done for him now. I think we need, because the 2025 England tour will be part of the next WTC cycle. I don't see him
we are
playing
finished. Yeah.
international cricket till 2027, irrespective of what Mr. Ravi Shastri thinks.
Okay, okay. Um, we'll talk about Rishabh Pant now. Daniel, again, taking a comment from him. You can't take him to England because he'll edge the ball too much behind. He's been edging the ball too much behind in Australia itself. England
Yeah.
mein, he can't do worse, right? 10 innings, he'll have to edge it nine. I would put good money on him edging it nine times. Let's see what Scott Boland said about Virat Kohli. एक बार उस पे देख लेते हैं, and then we'll go on to Rishabh Pant because I don't think anybody is complaining about Rishabh Pant's batting today, his shot
No.
selection or anything for that matter. It was great fun to watch. It started, it started in the sense that he was playing a few risky shots, did not connect very well. But then once he started connecting, he got those runs on the both the pie, and that could very well be the difference. Second fastest half century, I think, for an Indian batter in Test cricket. Um, uh, uh, it was great to watch, and I think this could be the difference if India does go on and win this Test match.
Yes, as far as I am concerned, this is the best innings by an Indian player on this tour, on
Even
this
better
tour.
than
And
Jaiswal's Perth.
yeah, it's better because here the pitch was more difficult.
Okay,
And
okay.
yeah, and the situation that we were in, so yeah, it was better than that. And it's an incredible innings. He is like that. Like my only grouse was his second innings shot in Melbourne. I was very angry with that shot because runs were not necessary at that point. But today he has been doing this. He has been playing these shots, and we have to take the rough with a smooth. Like sometimes he will get out playing these shots, but we will have to accept it because we accept the runs that he score very happily. So we will
Mm,
accept the odd occasion when he gets out. There are other players around him who should give
mm,
him that cushion, so that he is allowed to flower in his own way. We accepted Virendra Sehwag for the way he batted. We did not complain much when he
mm.
sometimes tended to throw his wicket away. So we have to do that with Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant it's he's a God's gift to Indian cricket. We should not meddle with him.
I still think that I still think that there has to be balance between the kind of shots you play as per situation. Again, Melbourne's second innings, there was no need to play that shot. Let's be very honest about it. Because
Yes,
you were
yes,
not.
absolutely. That's what I have been saying. Yeah,
There has to
that was
be there has to be a little bit of balance between the kind of shots that you play as per the situation. Today, the situation warranted. The ball is doing too much. You throw your bat around, get as many runs, and if there is one batter who has the capability of scoring at almost 200 strike rate on that pitch, it's Rishabh Pant. It's allowed. आपके पास license है, आप जाके करो. But again, your mind does go back to what happened in the Melbourne second innings, where that shot was not warranted. Like you said, absolutely, Rishabh Pant is a gift. We hope he keeps giving, and he reaches that mature stage where he finds that balance. I still think somebody is commenting that Sunil Gavaskar got the answer what Pant can do with his natural game. I still think Sunil Gavaskar का जो comment था वो without merit नहीं था. Sunil Gavaskar is a legend of the game. His name is on the trophy that we are watching for. So from that perspective, he was not wrong. So it has to be as per situation. That doesn't mean that Rishabh Pant should be asked to curb his natural game, maybe a bit more balance. Um, Daniel, I know you want to talk about the Aussies. We've already discussed the Australian innings, and we are almost close to finishing the show. But thanks for joining. Keep watching. Let's talk about who will win. We'll take that comment in just a bit. Let's talk about Rohit Sharma's big interview. किस किस की आंखें खुल गई थी वो इंटरव्यू देख के. Mike Penn or laptop can't decide when we should retire. I have confidence in me that things can change, but at the same time, I have to be realistic as well. So life won't change by what people with a mic pen or laptop write or say. They can't decide when we should retire, when we should sit out, when we should captain. I'm a sensible man, mature man, father of two kids, so I know what I need in life. Nitin, it reminds me of Roger Federer's last few years when he was not struggling, but he was not making the finals as much. ठीक है, वो सेमीफाइनल तक पहुंच के जोकोविच से हार जाएगा. पीपल वुड से अरे रिटायर हो जाओ. These are great athletes. अब रॉजर फेडरर को you can't tell ना when to retire, because he's only eaten, drunk and slept tennis since day one of his life, right? Of his mature life. So I'm not comparing Rohit Sharma with Roger Federer. There is no comparison. I'm just saying that professional athletes, they give their everything to sport. So nobody outside can decide when you retire. But it can be decided whether you're part of the team or not. आप रोहित शर्मा को ये नहीं बोल सकते कि आप रिटायर हो जाओ. आप उनको ये जरूर बोल सकते हो, your runs have not been good enough. You are not part of India's test plans going ahead. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, you made a comparison or drew an analogy of Roger Federer.
Hmm.
I mean, because tennis is an individual sport, he's playing for himself, so he can
You
continue
take a team
playing
sport.
till he's 50. Oh, till he's 50. Here, he is probably his being in the 11 is affecting the chances
Hmm.
of success
Hmm.
of the Indian team, which I think is a no-no. It's yeah. In sport, obviously you cannot guarantee a performance, but then you notice a trend, right? You notice a trend. I would be very surprised if the Aussie selectors stick with Usman Khwaja after repeatedly being out in the same fashion to Jasprit Bumrah. So I
Hmm.
think they let go of Mitch Marsh and they brought in Bow Webster. So
Hmm.
it's not a crime to hold
Hmm.
an elite sports person accountable to his performance. So and especially an Indian captain, which
Hmm.
on such an important tour, coming
Hmm.
into a team which was leading
Hmm.
the series,
Hmm.
coming into a team and affecting probably the team balance,
Hmm.
changing the setup,
Hmm.
changing the batting order, moving a guy who has done well at the top of the order to
Hmm.
number three, and probably affecting his rhythm as well. So,
Hmm.
there's a lot that he is culpable for.
Yeah. Which is the point. Ki, theek hai. Again, theek hai. You said that obviously Federer is an individual thing. आप team sport में भी ले लो. You take the example of Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. You can't tell them when to retire. You can tell
Yeah,
them ki boss, you're not needed at Real Madrid anymore. You needed at Juventus anymore. You're not
yeah,
needed for Portugal or Argentina anymore. My point is, you can't tell them to retire. You can tell them we're not going to select you. We're not going to select you anymore. The selectors can tell रोहित शर्मा यू आर नॉट इन आवर टेस्ट प्लान्स. अगर हम विराट कोहली के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि अगले टेस्ट साइकिल में उनकी जगह नहीं बनती है, रोहित शर्मा की तो डेफिनेटली नहीं बनती है. And this is where Dopayan, the biggest talking point from that interview, in my perspective, came from. ठीक है, he's taking pot shots to the media, which is fine. That always happens. Although, let me just say this on record: Rohit Sharma shares an excellent relationship with the media. Right, excellent relationship. He's one of the guys, Joe, who has a really good memory. He's really good. He's really funny. He doesn't hold you for writing against him. That kind of a thing. Some other players have done that in the past. But now, this is the point that I want to discuss the most. Not a retirement decision. The chat that I had with the coach and the selector was very simple. My bat is not scoring runs. I'm not in form. This is an important match. We need players who are in form. As it is, the boys who are in great form, the boys are not in great form. So I had this simple thought in my mind: we can't carry out of form players. That's a very good thought. Whether he's been pushed into this thought or this thought came to him on his own, that's also very fine. But at the end of the day, he's saying it's not a retirement decision. The decision, I feel, now is in the hands of Ajit Agarkar and Gautam Gambhir and the BCCI to say, boss, this is the end of the road for you. Whether it is your retirement decision or not, you have played your last test for India.
Yes, yes, I think so. It should be like it is, and the analogy that you had made, like it is a direct, it has a direct parallel with Cristiano Ronaldo. Just as Cristiano Ronaldo needs to be told by the Portugal management that he is pulling the team down the way
Yeah,
he is playing now.
yeah.
These two guys, and especially both of them need to be told by the selectors who have been known to be very harsh with players like Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, uh, to be uh, to be assertive, to
Hmm,
tell them that this is time to go. And let
hmm,
let's go back in time. Yeah, after the 2011 tour, there were two retirements over the next 3 4 months. One was Rahul Dravid, one was VVS Lakshman. Both were not announced on tour, but
hmm,
after the tour, both did press conferences, and they left. They did not get any farewell game or
hmm,
anything. So that's the thing. Like I know that if India wins tomorrow, a lot of things will go under the carpet. There will be a lot of feel good feeling about the victory and all that, but still, win lose whatever, this is a tough call that
hmm,
probably needs to be taken. And and I think Rohit Sharma, having said what he said, he is probably angry that everyone is making saying something about his career, but he
hmm,
too probably knows he's a sensible man. As
hmm,
he said that he's a sensible man, he is a sensible man, and he knows that his red ball game at least has deserted him for good. It is not going
hmm.
to come back.
Yeah, and I think हम कल रात को ये डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि whether he'll go to Champions Trophy or not. I read somewhere that Hardik Pandya might be the captain if Rohit Sharma is axed from the Champions Trophy. But again, we'll discuss all of that later. But with what Rohit Sharma has said today, I think ये तो guarantee हो गया है कि he is going to be playing white ball cricket. He is going to the Champions Trophy as India's captain. So yeah, this debate will go on and all. I think the last question remains is what happens tomorrow. Dopayan has been bang on with his predictions. We'll start with
Yeah,
him.
I
What?
gave up. I gave up.
Yeah, Nitin has given up already. Okay, yeah, but we still will ask Nitin. Obviously, Dopayan. Let's start with you. Oh, in fact, you know what? Yeah, Dopayan. Let's start with you. In terms of your predictions, what's going to happen tomorrow?
Mm, I think India will give Australia a target of in the 190 to 200 range, and
Hmm,
if Bumrah is not available to bowl more than 5 overs or something like that, then Au- Australia may just scrape through 7 wickets down, a three
hmm,
wicket win.
hmm.
Uh, if Bumrah is not available. But if Bumrah is available, I see India winning by a comfortable 45-50 runs.
Okay, Nitin. Anything you would like to add or? Uh,
It all depends on actually how much these two guys add in the
hmm,
morning.
hmm,
How much, because the ball is a little older. The
hmm,
bowlers also will be after. I think they've bowled multiple spells today. So
hmm.
if that's why I thought that Nitish Reddy wicket was a little bit of a dampener towards the end.
Yeah, yeah,
Had
yeah.
he been available tomorrow morning, I think we could have. I kind of thought that the
Hmm,
innings stalled a bit after
yeah,
Pant got out, and Jadeja
yeah.
just went into his shell. I hope that they don't make that mistake tomorrow. They are a little bit more. I'm not. I won't say being reckless, but at least a little bit more attacking. And if they can stretch this lead to maybe 200, and if Bumrah is available, then maybe there'll be some fun in games.
You know what? This is the last batting pair for India, so a lot will depend on how many they get. And then, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
if Bumrah is not available to bowl, then he'll probably not be, batting as well. And you know why I say that? Because अगर वो 20 run बना देता है, that's 20 more runs. And he's somebody who can throw his bat around. He can connect really well. So yeah, we've
Uh,
lost Bumrah, the batter and the bowler, if he doesn't get fit for tomorrow. Big day, big day. As yes, we are hoping for 2-2. Hopefully, we'll come tomorrow post match, especially in India, with India having a strong position, or India having won the game. Thank you so much,
I
guys.
will
That
just
was
make yeah, like before the series I had said 2-2. So
2-2.
you can,
Yes. You
yeah.
you can rub
Yeah.
that in our faces tomorrow. You can rub that in our faces tomorrow. Let
I
people
had
have
said
their
3-1.
3-2.
I had said
Yeah,
Yeah.
3-1.
so
Yeah.
both of you are on for it. So let's see. And in
Yeah.
fact, I
Yeah.
also said 3-1 or 4-0 for Australia, if I remember. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that tomorrow. Um, that's the show for today. Thank you so much, Dwapayan Datta, Nitin Nayak, for joining us. Thank you, all our
Thank you, Chin.
viewers, for your
Thank
comments and for watching the show. Do subscribe our YouTube channel, and we hope to take as many comments as possible in each of our shows. So we'll see you tomorrow post game, and until then, it's bye.